So today, part 2 of my US guitar safari, where I visited a bunch of guitar shops in North Carolina. Now on this one, I've decided to do some narration, mainly just to talk about the type of guitar shops I went to and the differences between them. And in case you're wondering why I'm doing the introduction standing up, I'm not entirely sure. On with the video. Hello folks, welcome to Dunsey's Guitar World. Now us Scots, we always take the weather wherever we go. Here I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, heading towards Sam Ash Music Store. And as you can see, it's a little bit wet. So Fred, what would be the guitar you would pick on this massive wall of guitars? What guitar would you pick?
First catching my eye is that it's out of Eddie Van Halen.
What's a look? What's a look? Oh yeah. The white one.
Yeah. It's just the first thing that caught my eye.
What about the Gibsons?
But then that black and white Telecaster catches my eye too. And then on the Gibson wall, I'm a big fan of black and white again. Oh. That's pretty cool too, though.
What choice, eh? So Sam Ash, a massive music store, a chain of music stores. This is maybe the biggest guitar store I've ever seen. You know, there's one whole wall of the shop just covered in guitars. Part of the shop is like a drum room and there's PAs and stuff like that. Now I don't mean anything I'm saying here to be any sort of criticism of any shops or anything like that. This is just my viewpoint. But you can really tell the difference between, you know, these bigger chain stores and the smaller sort of mom and pop shops, as they say. I mean, I guess you have to strike a balance between, as soon as you walk in, you're immediately surrounded by staff saying, can I help you, can I help you? And you're thinking, I'm just having a look at the moment, thanks very much. And balance that between Sam Ash, which there was not a single person behind the counter and all the way on the guitar side of the shop. Not a single person there to ask a question. I mean, I could have went to the front door and asked the people there. There were people at the door. I could have asked them, but there was not a single person to ask if I could try different guitars. So I wasn't sure what I was allowed to try. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to plug into an amp or anything like that. There was a lot of pedals and stuff. Couldn't ask anybody about the pedals. So a very big selection of guitars. Now I'm thinking all the expensive ones are way up high there, so people like me couldn't just come in and, you know, pull in a £5,000 custom shop Gibson and bang it off an amp. And the more budget ones are down the bottom, which I did have a shot of. Actually, one that I tried was a guitar I've never tried before, one of these Michael Kelly Patriot, is that Michael Kelly Patriot guitars? Like a Les Paul sort of copy, and it was really nice.
I picked this one up and was turned off right away. I didn't even begin to try it.
cool. Coil taps as well. So that was Sam Ash, Capitol Boulevard, Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, right across the road, I mean, I say right across the road, but it's like a freeway. There's about 4 lanes on either side. You wouldn't want to run across it. But right across the road, once you go all the way around, is Guitar Centre. Let's have a look at Guitar Centre. Now, unlike Sam Ash, there was loads of people there behind the counter to help. Everybody was dead friendly and, they were helpful, but I often get the impression in some stores, big chain stores, people aren't really that interested in things, it's a means to an end, which I understand, I've got a day job, it's just a means to an end. It means I can do this. Now, in Guitar Centre, I think the most interesting guitar, from my point of view, was these Squires, I think they're Squires anyway, with 2 P90 pickups, which look cool as anything. I didn't have a shop because the shop was quite busy, and I'm not a teenager who just goes in there and makes a racket for half an hour and doesn't buy anything. But I thought they looked really cool. These are pretty cool looking guitars. I would like to try one here in the UK. Then the next shop we visit is a bit of a drive away. It's in Durham. We were going to see Louise Post playing a solo show in Durham, so we drive out to Durham. And there's this place called Sound Pure. Now, this is one of these stores. We didn't phone ahead, and there's a sign in the window that says, visits by appointment only. It's one of these shops where you don't just rock up and say, I'll just have a shot of loads of guitars. This is high-end stuff. I mean, I've never seen so many high-end guitars in the one shop. There was like Nags guitars on the wall and everything like that. Second-hand Nags guitars, I've never even seen such a thing. I ended up not playing anything because there was nothing on the wall that was less than $2,500. Beautiful, beautiful guitars. I mean, if you're in the market for one of these guitars, that's the place to go. But phone first because it's by appointment only. But the selection of high-end sort of boutique guitars was just incredible, and had a huge selection of boutique amps as well. So, maybe I'll save up my money for the next time I'm across there, and I'll maybe pop in there and buy something. But it's high-end stuff. So then we're back into Raleigh. This was the next again day, I think, actually. Back into Raleigh, and we go to Guru Guitars. the completely other end of the spectrum from Sound Pure. I love Guru Guitars. It's just this little shop, just kind of sitting in a little block on its own, kind of on the outskirts of Raleigh, and it's just tons of stuff, tons of second-hand pedals and things like that. Just all different kinds of stuff. And I actually seen the only sort of vintage 80s Japanese Les Paul on my whole trip. I saw it there. I think it was a Burnley or something like that. So I like this shop as well, Guru Guitars. Just a place you can go in and just pick up one of any 100 different second-hand pedals. It looked like I was playing the keyboards there. Any one of a couple of hundred second-hand pedals. Now here's the thing, there was a guy in that shop. Again, I'm not criticising people, this is just my observation. But we're in Guru Guitars, there was a guy in there, and we went in, and he's on the phone and he's talking about, I don't know, I think he's talking about a ball game or a baseball game or something like that. And we were there for about 40 minutes, and all he did was stand there talking about the ball game. He didn't try any guitars, he was just stood in a guitar shop for, 40 minutes talking about sport. Don't know if he bought anything after that, don't know. Now the last stop on the trip, last but not least, was Harry's Guitar Shop. Now, this is probably the first guitar shop that I ever went into the very first time I was in Raleigh, which would have been September 2000. I was on honeymoon, it's a long story. I've maybe got a video up there. So I was on honeymoon with my wife, took my wife on my honeymoon with me, and we met my friend Fred for the first time, just completely by accident. And for the 4 days we were there, he took me to guitar shops, and the first guitar shop I ever went to was Harry's Guitar Shop, and I always go back to Harry's Guitar Shop every time I'm in Raleigh. It's a cool little place. They do loads of Gretsch guitars. I had a shot of a couple. Don't really see myself as a Gretsch guitar guy. I don't know what it is. Anytime I play one, I think they sound pretty good, but I think they show up the inadequacies of your playing pretty well, So I don't really want that sort of thing. So that was it. This was another one of these things. Again, an observation, this isn't a criticism. You see this in a lot of guitar shops, probably more when you get older, you notice this sort of thing. A couple of younger guys in, just playing guitars, picking guitars up, plugging them in, playing at an alarming volume, and you become an old curmudgeon. And I was almost going to say, you couldn't turn that down a bit, guys, that's a bit loud. But they were just riffing away, and they were quite good guitar players. I was just looking at all the sort of used pedals and stuff like that. It's a cool little shop. Now, one of the funny things about this was they had a guitar with them. I think it was a Gretsch. Wasn't in a case. So they've got a guitar not in a case, and they're standing at the counter saying, we're here to sell this. Of course, alarm bells are ringing. Oh, you're here to sell a guitar? That's not. Where did you find that? Anyway, so the guy says, have you got any ID? Have you got a license? And then there was much oh no. So I think they managed to pony up some ID and then got the money for the guitar. So all's well that ends well. So this was part 2 of my US guitar safari from July 2023. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsi's Guitar World. Cheers for now.